Hey there, and welcome to our final First Alert Weather Plus forecast for 2025. Of course, later this week, I should say, we flipped the calendar to a bright, shiny new year. But hey, as we talk about what's coming our way for the final few days of this year, it's an inversion that we're watching. We will have a ridge of high pressure building in from the west that will lead to very stagnant air conditions. Temperatures, though, will remain milder than normal. We saw those temps get knocked back quite a bit over the weekend after that cold front on Saturday that did bring some snow to our mountains, but we'll slowly see temperatures start to climb despite that temperature inversion in the coming days. And then as we look ahead to the first few days of 2026, we will see warmer and wetter conditions taking place, courtesy of a system down to our south. Still, we have had a very warm December, coming off of our 6th warmest November on record. By the time it's all said and done, I would not be surprised if December ranks also in the top 5 warmest Decembers for Boise. We've had several record-setting or record-tying days with highs in the 60s, of course, coming off our 2nd warmest Christmas with that high of 59 degrees. Sunday's highs in the 30s were a bit of a shock to the system after that stretch of spring-like weather. And as we talk about the warm-up coming our way later in the week, nothing like the 60s we saw last week, but still we'll be back up near 50 by Friday. And temperatures for the days before that slightly above normal, which for Boise this time of year is 37 degrees. So highs around 40 Tuesday into Wednesday in the valleys. We won't be far from 40 in the mountains either. And so those temperatures warming a little more quickly, more noticeably in the mountains, and not all that far off of valley temperatures. That's a good indication we have that warmer air aloft, cooler air at the surface, which of course is that inversion. An inversion, remember, at its most basic, is an increase in temperature with height. In a normal setup, you start climbing, you go up in the mountains, temperatures will start to cool. It's an opposite kind of topsy-turvy atmosphere, if you will, with an inversion. We have kind of this capping layer that keeps warmer air aloft and traps that colder air and moisture and pollutants all at the surface. And if you have just enough moisture where you get that stagnant air, you can get fog that will develop and sometimes persist, especially in the lower elevations. So the lower Treasure Valley west of Boise tends to see that persistent fog or haze during an inversion, and that can impact temperatures. So Boise area doesn't tend to be quite as murky, but the further west you go, you may see some of that fog persisting in the coming days. So that's why we have that air stagnation advisory that's in place through Thursday morning for the lower elevations and pretty much all of eastern Oregon, as we will see just these stagnant conditions allowing those pollutants to stack up at the surface. So big picture wise, here's that ridge of high pressure that will continue building in to the east over the next several days. But as we look ahead to Thursday into Friday, the end of the week, but the start of the year, we have an area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska that will start interacting with a weaker area of low pressure or a storm system off the coast of California. That will start drawing up subtropical moisture for the end of the week. So that will boost temperatures and also precipitation chances. So here's what it looks like as we put this into motion. Here's about Tuesday afternoon. High pressure is here. We have our weaker low pressure center down there off Southern California, and then our much stronger system starting to develop in the Gulf of Alaska. So as this starts to work its way east, it will suppress that ridge of high pressure, and watch that green blob. You see, that's rain or precipitation on the move from the south. That will all keep filling in from Thursday night into Friday and Saturday, and that will bring us some rain to the valley and high elevation snow. Starting off, snow levels could be as high as maybe 6,000 feet or so. That's very high for this time of year, but that's again because this is subtropical moisture coming in, so that will boost temperatures as well. Here in the Treasure Valley, I'm not seeing any washout days. We will stay dry through the end of the year on Wednesday. Slight chance of a shower to kick off the new year on Thursday. Then we just see that 40% coverage for Friday into Saturday, hanging on into Sunday. So this will likely just be a case of hit or miss showers. Temperatures, though, up near 50 while that's occurring. So maybe a couple flurries in the morning and some of our colder spots over the weekend, but likely just a rain event for the valleys with snow falling above 6,000 feet. Decent accumulations expected there. Snow levels, though, fluctuating through the weekend, anywhere from 3,500 to 5,500 feet, just depending on time of day. So looking at temperatures for the start of the work week, we'll be up near 40 in Boise and in Twin Falls, at the freezing mark in McCall. Off to the west, seasonable as well, mid-40s along the west coast for Seattle and Portland. On Tuesday, we see temperatures inch up just a tiny bit. We're around 40 degrees for our lower elevations, not far from 40 in McCall either, up to 41 in Lewiston, 36 over in Idaho Falls. And on our final day of 2025 on Wednesday, we'll tack on just couple more degrees of warmth. This is above normal, 44 in in Boise, up near 40 in McCall, still in the mid-40s along the west coast. So temperatures really don't move a whole lot as that inversion holds steady and we just get that sinking air underneath that ridge. It doesn't allow for a whole lot of movement or vertical mixing. So again, temperatures tend to hold pretty steady when there's an inversion in place. So looking at our mountains this week, we are dry through the middle of the week. That system starts making its way in on Thursday, sending moisture our way. So we will start seeing snowfall. Morning lows will be cold enough in places like McCall on Thursday into Friday. We could see some mountain valley snow, but temperatures warming to up near 40 means snow levels, of course, will climb during the day. So ski resorts should see several inches of accumulation from that system, but mountain valleys, it may just kind of come and go as far as accumulating snowfall by the end of the week. Looking at the 7-day outlook for the Twin Falls area, heading into the end of the year, temperatures will climb into the mid-40s. We tend to not see inversion conditions as strong over in the Magic Valley simply because it's a higher elevation. First day of the new year, we'll see temperatures holding steady in those low 40s. Then we'll bring some rain chances into the mix, maybe a snow flurry in the morning, but even in Twin Falls, highs will climb up near 50 degrees, morning lows above freezing Friday and Saturday. So it looks like that will be mostly rain for the Magic Valley, no accumulating snowfall. And the long-term outlook for the Boise area, we saw those temperatures that will hit the mid-40s as we wrap up 2025 on Wednesday. New Year's Eve will be dry and brisk, but seasonably so. We'll be in the 20s around midnight for those end-of-year celebrations. And then heading into 2026, temperatures start warming, and we see those increasing precipitation chances as well, up near 50 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be dodging some raindrops heading into the weekend with mostly cloudy skies hanging on through the end of the weekend. Thanks so much for tuning into this First Alert Weather Plus forecast. We'll see you next time.